Hi, welcome to Wise Up. I walk through the book of Proverbs. We're in day 2, which is chapter 2 of the book of Proverbs. I want to start actually in verse 2. Day 2, chapter 2, verse 2. Come on, somebody. It says, tune your ears to wisdom and concentrate on understanding. Now, I love what he says there. Tune your ears to wisdom. Now, I'm a drummer, and so I have to tune drums, get them back into pitch. They'll, depending on the environment, depending on how they've been played, depending on the way that they've been played, depending on who's played them. If somebody else has played them for me, sometimes that's an issue. I have a friend who drums, and he drums at 1 volume, which is max, and 1 intensity, which is incredible. And so I told him one time, like, man, you need to calm down. You're beating those drums like they owe you money. And so you need to settle like you're beating them out of tune. And so the reality is, it made me think, like, when Solomon here says, tune your ears to wisdom and concentrate on understanding, how much time do I spend retuning my life to make sure that I'm tuned in to hear wisdom or to concentrate on understanding? And yet this is vitally important. Now you might say, Tim, why is it so important? Well, it's important because, look at this, verse 7. He grants a treasure of good sense to the godly. He is their shield, protecting those who walk with integrity. Verse 8, he guards the paths of justice and protects those who are faithful to him. God gives us the capacity to understand how to make wise decisions and do things with an air of wisdom, appropriate application of information. And God says that there's merit that comes with it, that there's benefit that comes with that. It's not just making wise decisions for the sake of wisdom. Wisdom for the sake of wisdom, honestly, is a waste of time. I heard Tim Tebow talking about discipline in his own life and how discipline for the sake of discipline, nobody is fired up about that. Like, hey, let's go work hard. Why? So we can work hard. Or let's be disciplined. Why? So we can be really disciplined. What he said instead is discipline towards a goal, hard work towards a goal, and making sure that it's a noble goal. These are really good things. But wisdom for the sake of wisdom alone would be a waste of time. Now, verse 12 says, wisdom will save you from evil people. All of us have situations we wish we could be saved out of. And I remember years and years ago, I won't tell you all the story, but I was making a joke. I was a youth ministry volunteer at a church, and I made just a passing joke. It wasn't insensitive or out of line. Maybe it was a little insensitive, but I made a joke about a location, and somebody said, hey, my family's from that location. I went, oh, okay. I said, well, not like that, but I kind of made a dig at hairstyle or clothes or whatever. And then his dad turned around, he had that same hairstyle, and I thought, oh man, what a bad idea. I wish I could have been saved out of that conversation and out of putting my foot in my own mouth. And unfortunately, I did not apply wisdom in that moment. I just spoke and I let it fly. And as a 19 or 20-year-old, it did not land well. I can tell you that. Verse 16 says, wisdom will save you from the immoral woman. And so later on, Solomon talks about that later in the book of Proverbs. As a matter of fact, chapter 7, when we get to that, he'll talk about this vantage point that he has and how moving step by step in the wrong direction is not beneficial for you. And a matter of fact, you end up in a really bad place. So all of us want to be in a place where we can be saved out of bad decisions. We can be saved out of bad scenarios, maybe even be saved out of bad relationships. And the reality is, this is why we need wisdom. This is why we need to hold on to good sense and listen. We need the appropriate application of the information that we have. And as a believer, as a Christ follower, I've got to appeal to what God says to me out of his word. I'm so glad that you're here. Keep hanging in there as we wise up together.